Hey guys, welcome back to Mechanics Life. Today we're going to talk about ignition coils. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because there was an issue with my car, and after digging into it for a couple of days, I finally figured out what it was, rather than just throwing parts at it. So this ignition coil in particular, it's not an original Denso coil, but this coil here actually works perfectly fine. There's no misfires. It's getting full spark. Everything's working great. But when it's installed in the vehicle doesn't go past 25 to about 3,000 RPM at max. And if you're already on the fifth gear, if you're driving stick shift or manual transmission, once you catch up on the speed, top speed limit would be 55 miles, which is basically the car's in limp mode. It's not letting you drive any faster to prevent further damage to the vehicle. Now the reason why I'm saying this is, again, there was no misfires in the car at all. So it didn't show me that the coil was bad or anything like that. But I was getting a P0351 all the way to P0354, so all 4 cylinders. The only thing that they share is the ground wire inside all those 4 coils. Now the ground wire comes out straight from the PCM. In all of them, that third pin inside number 2, this specific coil had continuity, which is not supposed to. I checked for ground, I checked for supply voltage and everything showed perfectly. Everything was on spec. But I was getting those codes, plus the oxygen sensor, bank 1, sensor 1, was not functioning correctly. I couldn't get any fuel trim data at all. And I was stuck in an open loop. So I checked for voltage and I checked for continuity. And this specific coil had it, which was not the original one. But the biggest problem was, what got me kind of offset, is that I wasn't getting any bad ignition coil codes or anything like that. It just said a circuitry code, which could have been anything at this point. It could have been a bad oxygen sensor. It could have been a bad MAF sensor. It could have been 1,000 different little things that would cause that same issue. But I finally found it, and I wanted to show you guys exactly what I'm saying on camera so you see what's going on. Okay, so this is a 2005 Scion XB with a manual transmission. Once again, as I was saying, there you got your 4 coils, and this is the coil that I replaced. Since I want to show you exactly what I meant, we're going to remove the coil. There you go. We're going to remove that. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to remove that new coil. And we're going to put that old coil that I had in the car. Slide it back inside and tighten it. You don't have to do it all the way. And put it back on. You will see that once I install that coil back, the check engine light will come right back on. We're gonna start the car, and and we're gonna monitor what this car does. At this point, we're gonna start it. Check engine light's about to come out. There you go. And the VSC is gonna come out, traction control and all of that. There you go. So those lights are out. When you first start the car, you can still rev it. See that? Past the 3,000 RPM. But give it just a little bit, and then I'll show you exactly what it's doing. Second gear, and watch what happens. There you go. I'm giving it gas still, but it's just bogging down at this point. There you go. It's just, I don't know if you can see that on video. I don't know if you can hear that, but the car is severely bogging down, and it doesn't go past that 2,500 RPM mark. That still stays on there. It's not going away. At this point, we have a code for P0351 all the way to P0354. Anyways, the car is in limp mode at the moment because it's giving those codes. Oops. It's giving those codes. So after we pull over, we're gonna see that we're not getting a misfire. The car's not shaking. The car drives perfectly fine. But it has those 4 codes. Obviously, it tells you to lean towards the ignition coils right away, but that's not always the case, because when you have those codes, usually that could be your MAF sensor, that could be many things. So we're gonna go back, and as you can see, I'm gonna rev the car, and as you can see, there's no misfire, and I can easily rev the car. Very clean. Now this is what happens if I give it some throttle. See, I'm still holding my foot, I'm not moving, but the car is bogging down. Now if you slowly, very ever slight slowly, give it gas, you can go past, but that's about it. And then it starts bogging down. That was the issue. That coil was a bad coil. This coil I got from, what the hell was it? This was from O'Reilly through First Call. So, not the best, obviously, ignition coil. You would want to stay with Denso as their original. These Toyotas, they hate aftermarket parts, but that's not what the video is about. The whole point was that the car never showed me that there was an issue with misfire or anything in that matter. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove that coil again, just like so. And then we're gonna do some multimeter testing. So that was a bad coil, and the odd thing that you can smell that something is wrong with it. Not right away, but eventually you can. So we're gonna take that rubber gasket, we're gonna put it back here. We're gonna take these 2 coils, go back inside the car. So we're gonna take that old coil right here. We're gonna put an alligator clip right on number 1. So that's on number 1. And we're gonna connect the other side, obviously, to here. And now all we have to do is just touch the Now we're gonna check that third pin, the one that I was telling you, and there you go. As you can see, it has continuity, and it's not supposed to at all. This is pin 2, open. Pin 4, open. Pin 3, you can see it right here, holding pin 3. Now if we take the new coil, we'll put it right here. I'm gonna take that alligator clip, set it at pin 1, like that, and then we check for pin 2, open. Pin 3, open. Pin 4, open. As you can see, I don't know if that's the pin 3 right here. So we're touching the pin 3, and it's open. So we're gonna put this aside, put the new coil back on. Slide it back inside. I know that's not the right tools to use here, but I'm just trying to do it quick. That's good. We're gonna put the connector back. There you go. Clicks. Put the hood down. Now you will see this crazy difference where check engine light is still on there. We're gonna have to reset it really quick. So we erased the codes. We're gonna go back on live data. Just to make sure that everything's working properly. As you can see, I can go past 3,000 RPMs with no problems. Check engine light doesn't come out. And we're gonna go to live data. Just a quick check. There you go. We got our short-term trip, long-term. Our map is working properly, and the O2 sensors. There you go. So now everything works properly. That's once again the reason that I made this video, so in case you guys have that same problem. Thank you guys for watching. If this helped you in any way, please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, press that notification bell for more videos to come out. I know I haven't posted for a while. That's just because I moved from California to Florida and I had to set up my business here. So very soon there's going to be a video of a new shop that I will be getting here in Florida. The purpose of this video was so that you can understand to a point where if an ignition coil is bad in your car, it won't necessarily give you a code of a bad ignition coil. Or like in this case, it gave a bad code to all 4 ignition coils at the same time, but again, not specifically to the ignition coil, but to the circuit of the ignition coil, telling me that there's a wiring issue. But like I said, I tested all the wires, the ground, the positive, and everything. I even pinpointed all the way down to the PCM, and there was still no issues whatsoever. That's until I pulled the plug and I started checking each one for continuity. Maybe that's the first thing you want to do. In my case, I didn't do the first thing. Obviously, when you do this every day, you start forgetting about the simplest things, the simplest ways, and you start thinking of the more crazier things, what could be wrong with the car. Correct me if I'm wrong, whoever's doing mechanic work. So if you guys have any questions, send me a message, email me, everything's on there on YouTube. You can leave a comment and let me know if that helped you. Once again, thank you guys. Subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video if it helped you, so it can help others out there. Thanks. See you on the next one.